Hi there, and welcome to another episode in the Georgia Workers' Compensation video series. If you're new to this series, my name is Jason Perkins. I'm a Georgia Workers' Compensation attorney. I created this series of videos because I wanted to provide people who've been hurt at work with helpful information about Georgia's workers' compensation law and the benefits they should receive under that law. Today I want to talk to you about a particular type of injury that sometimes occurs. And specifically, I want to address the question of whether Georgia workers' compensation covers parking lot injuries. First, let's talk about what I mean when I say parking lot injury. Sometimes injuries occur in the parking lot where you park your vehicle at work, or when you're walking from your vehicle to the place where you work, or at the end of the day when you're leaving work and walking back to your vehicle in that parking lot. Why does it matter whether workers' compensation covers parking lot injuries or injuries when you're walking from the parking lot or back to it? Well, this journey from the parking lot to where you work can be dangerous. When you're in a parking lot, I see a lot of people who get injured. Maybe they're struck by a vehicle, or maybe they trip and fall when there's a hole in the parking lot, or some other thing that they trip and fall over, or when the weather's bad, it's raining or snowing and it's slippery, so they can suffer an injury when they're in the parking lot or on their way to work or walking back from work. So it can be a situation where a lot of times where you're at work and you suffer an injury, but you're not actually in the building yet. So let's talk about the question of, does Georgia workers' compensation cover those parking lot injuries? Generally, Georgia workers' compensation covers injuries when you're at work, but there are some injuries that can be covered when you're ingressing, which means you're going into work, or egressing, which means you're leaving work at the end of the day. Now, whether these injuries are covered or not depend a lot on the specific facts of your case. Let's talk about what type of parking lot injuries may be covered. Generally covered when you're on your employer's employment premises. And Georgia law basically says that the parking lot can be included in your employer's employment premises. It's often done when your employer owns the parking lot or maintains or controls the parking lot. In that situation, workers' compensation may hold that the employment premises extends beyond the buildings, actually out into the parking lot. And so if you're in one of those situations, your employer owns or maintains or controls a parking lot, and you're injured in that parking lot, either coming into work or leaving work at the end of the day, then there's a good chance that you may be covered under workers' compensation. If you're covered because the parking lot is owned, maintained, or controlled by the employer, that will also apply to your journey from that parking lot to where you're working or coming back out to that parking lot at the end of the day. So if you're injured walking from that parking lot to the business and it was on the road, you may be covered, or on some other place along the way. Other than that, you're generally only covered once you're on your employer's employment premises. This area of the law, again, is very fact specific. I actually had a case myself recently that went up to the Georgia Supreme Court, and recently received a decision from the Georgia Court of Appeals in my client's favor that had to do with whether my client was covered when she was walking out of the employer's building to her car in an employer-owned parking lot on her lunch break. Unfortunately, in that case, we obtained a successful result for my client. I was very happy about that. But I do see a situation, like lots of situations, like in my client's case, where initially that case was denied by the employer. They refused to pay my client workers' compensation benefits. So what do you do if that happens? Well, if your case is denied, I would definitely recommend reaching out to a workers' compensation attorney. You need to determine whether you can fight that denial and what the best way to do that is. Now, also, it may be the case that if you suffer an injury in a parking lot or walking from that parking lot to work or back out to your car at the end of the day, the employer workers' compensation insurance company may accept your case. So what you do in that situation? Well, I'd still recommend reaching out to a workers' compensation attorney. And the reason why is, even if your case is accepted, you need to make sure that you receive the benefits that you should. There's a lot of specific information about Georgia workers' compensation law, and even if the insurance company accepts your case, they may not pay you all the benefits that they should. So you should still reach out to a workers' compensation attorney to confirm that you are receiving the benefits that you should be in your case. Hope you found this information about whether Georgia workers' compensation covers parking lot injuries helpful. If you have, please let me know that. One of the best ways you can do that is by liking this video or giving it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to be notified of future videos in the Georgia Workers' Compensation video series. Again, if you have specific questions about your case, or your case has been denied or it's been accepted, I encourage you to reach out to me and schedule a free consultation about your case. I'd be happy to speak with you and answer any questions that you may have. There's two easy ways that you can do that. The first is by calling the phone number at the bottom of the screen, and the other is by reaching out to us through our website, which is www.perkinslawtalk.com. You can click on and submit a free consultation request form, and a member of our team will reach out to you and get a consultation scheduled. I'd like to thank you again for watching this video today, and we'll wish you the best of luck as you recover from your injuries.